On today's episode of Testify, Amanda shares how Jesus transformed her life, her homeschooling journey, and even her whole family. If you're a Christian mom or a homeschool parent looking for faith-filled encouragement, this story is for you. Well, thanks, Amanda, so much for coming and sharing your story on Testify.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where did you grow up? Did you have a big family?
Yeah, so right now, I'm the happy wife to my husband, Perry, and we have 4 kids.
And what was your upbringing like?
Yeah, so I lived, we had strong morals growing up.
So good people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say, you know what? It's funny, good people, that's really interesting. I think part of my story of growing up is we thought we were good people.
Yeah.
And that's definitely what God has changed about my family.
Yeah.
And right now I homeschool.
Okay.
And growing up, I ended up being homeschooled.
Oh, okay. So you started out in the public school
Yeah,
system?
I did.
And then,
Yeah. So started on the public school system. My sister became homeschooled before me. And then one
Okay.
day there was a snow day.
Yeah.
And
And you just never went back?
yeah, well, I was like, oh, this looks really cool. I want to be homeschooled. And my mom was like, didn't want to homeschool me at
Right,
first because
right.
that wasn't like, she didn't intend on homeschooling
Yeah.
me. I was like, I wanted to be like, I don't know. I think that's a way that the Lord was really bringing me to himself. Because growing up, we made the habit of going to church.
Okay.
Okay. When I was like maybe 7 or 8 years old. And it's not like we were definitely allowed to talk about God in my
Yeah.
home. But Christ wasn't in the center of our home. And I don't think that,
Like set the scene for me. Like was like Bibles are always out or, talking about Bible studies or, conversations over dinner, or was it just like we go to church on Sunday and
Yeah,
okay.
that's a good question. Yeah, so it was going to church on Sunday. That was the habit. My mom liked putting me in Bible programs like
Right.
Daily Vacation Bible School, or there's actually a Gideon's program, like Bible program at my public school, like in that
wow,
time.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So things like that, like just exposure to things of God, moraled in our family, going to church. And by default, I thought, okay, Christians are very safe, kind people. I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
I mean, my parents and my family would have their own testimonies, but
Yeah.
growing up, that's what I believed. And then, and again, it's in God's providence, because usually when you think about, okay, homeschoolers, a lot of them are Christian, there's a strong community.
Right.
We lived in a small town. My mom didn't know many homeschoolers,
Right.
but it was just on her heart to homeschool my sister. And so she did that. And then I wanted to be homeschooled.
Right.
And then, so we started doing this thing.
Right.
And
right.
then we met some other homeschoolers and we formed like something called a history co-op. So it's like you get together with other homeschoolers and then do a subject together. So it was like History Thursdays.
Right.
A way that God really drew me to himself was I just started to notice a difference of like what I believed. I just didn't feel like I had a strong foundation. Like I was confused about God. I didn't really know if he
Right.
existed. And it's really interesting just at a young age, really already thinking about those kind of questions.
Yeah.
Like I was probably, 10 years old.
Right.
I
It
think
sounds like
11.
you thought about God as a category, like Christianity as a category that includes like good people and, you do good things and you do things for your community, but maybe the personal aspect of the relationship wasn't there yet. So tell me how that kind of developed.
Yeah, that's really important. Like, the personal aspect. So there's a family in our history co-op. The mom started taking her daughter and I to their church, and we just started going. And I started having because it was their youth group she started taking me to.
Right.
And I just started having questions like, okay, I heard Jesus is the God man, 100% God, 100% man, like Jesus
Right.
is God. And I was just like, that was mind blowing to me. Like that was the
Right.
truth that was really mind blowing to me because I was confused. I thought one of the beliefs I thought was Jesus was God's favorite angel. And it's not like that
Okay.
was taught to me. It was just, that's
Right.
kind of what I believe because
Right.
they're,
Because in your mind, that's how you're reconciled as a child. Like, okay, here they're talking about this, and oh, it must be this. You make these logical, childlike conclusions. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't quite understand, or I thought like, okay, there's God and there's Jesus. And if I prayed more to God, then to Jesus, God would be mad at me. And I was just, I kind of wrestled when I was young. I wondered if there was a God at one point.
Yeah.
And going to this church, I just started really hearing the gospel, really hearing truth. And I remember coming home, and my mom, she didn't, again, there was no discouragement, but she just couldn't answer my questions.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
really cool though, but she allowed me to go. They wanted me to go, and we kept going to this homeschooling group, and they were
Right.
just so gentle with us. Like they would give truth. And sometimes we thought they were judgmental because we
Yeah.
were like, well, you know, we're good people, we're Christians. Like,
Right.
what do you mean? Like,
Right.
but they were just so kind and gentle. We started going to the church that they went to, and at that church, like, if you could picture it, it's like there's this like really loud preacher at the pulpit.
Okay.
And he's like on his tiptoes, really
Right.
passionate.
So enthusiastic.
Yes. And it was like, there wasn't like, you know, lights or bells and whistles.
Yeah.
But it was like, you know, organ and piano and hymns. And then at the pastor at the end would share the gospel.
Right.
And it was just really loud, you know, like he would say things like sin and
Right.
hell and things that like we knew about, but it was just really starting to sink in. And it wasn't a scare tactic. It was like, I'm really hearing the truth now.
Right.
I'm really hearing that, like, it's just starting to make sense. So I just remember it just all clicked. I really needed Jesus. Like I see it now. Like I really needed Jesus to rescue me from my sins.
Right. Yeah.
So
beautiful.
Yeah. It's,
Beautiful.
and then it was changing my family as well.
Okay. When this realization hit, like how old would you have been at that time?
Probably around 12.
About 12. Okay, yeah. And I think that's a critical age as we start to develop our own personalities and our own identities. And so how did this kind of newfound discovery of who Jesus was affect you through your teen years and even early adulthood?
I think I just really started to hunger to know more about God.
Yeah.
And my family too. So we
Yeah.
were all baptized on the same day.
Oh,
which is
wonderful.
just,
That
such
is
an encouragement
what?
to my
Wow.
soul.
Yeah.
You know, it changed my sorry, I guess I'm first talking about my dad, but my dad, you know, grew so patient. He ended up working for a church, like the church that we started to go to then, for a while. And then we just would have these theological discussions, you know, half an hour drive.
Right. So it really transformed your whole family dynamic, right? Because we talked a little bit about that before, where, you know, it was okay to talk about God, but we didn't actually talk about God, right? And then all of a sudden your entire family's experienced this transformation where you are talking about God.
Yeah. Even so I mentioned earlier that my mom, she couldn't answer my question when I came home from youth group. And it was like, I don't understand. And, but she reads like devotionals and theological books, and she wants to share the hope of Jesus with others. So it's just like, that's an encouragement. And my sister was also baptized, but maybe a couple of years later after that. And that was really important because she had to make that decision. Like, you can't just assume, like, that's part of our story, right? You can't just assume that you have true faith.
Yeah.
Like, you have to by God's grace, step into it.
Right.
So, but as far as, I think you asked about my transformation, just really hungering to learn about God. So like Bible studies and being a part of a good, just Christian community where I had like a youth group.
Yeah.
I've heard once someone said like, okay, the ratio for a young person should be like one youth leader, they should minister to 5 people.
Okay.
But really they flipped it on their head and they said, actually for every young person, there should be 5 people that just really love and invest in them. And I really have to say that like growing up, it was just like I had not only my parents, but my friends' parents that just really took an interest in me. And I think that's what really made a difference, is that there is this accountability. There is this, like, you go over to a friend's house, you eat their food, you know, you have, you know, fellowship together, you laugh together, you know, we give, like, families giving each other rides.
Right.
Like, those things were always just so meaningful to me.
This idea of community in Christ is just this beautiful depiction of supporting one another, because this life is pretty hard,
Yeah.
and to do it alone is a daunting thing, you know. So yeah, I love how you illustrate that community in Christ and how you support one another through that. So as you kind of hungered more for the word and you're asking big questions, is there a revelation that sticks out to you in that time where, you know, you read it in the Bible or God spoke to you and you were like, whoa?
I think there's lots. I think I enjoyed Christian fellowship so much that even at a young age, I was just like, oh, Jesus can come back. Like, it was like, it was like, I just felt this taste of good fellowship. And it wasn't like, it's not like everything is always good. Or sorry, everything is always good, but it's not everything is always like perfect.
Yeah.
And especially, you know, you go through your teenage years, and now I'm a mom, right? Like, there's always hard things.
They're going to enter their teenage years.
Right. Yes. So there's always hard things.
Yeah.
But I think opening up my Bible and being able to read it and have that discipline has been something that, like, the Lord and the Spirit has used to carry me through difficult things. Because I think, like, that's where we hear. Like, we hear from God. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like you're hinting a bit at a little taste of heaven right here on earth.
Well, I just, that Christian fellowship is so meaningful to me. And I think now when I'm not perfect at this, but like, because I have little kids right now. So right now I'm just like, I'm so focused on them, you know, raising them, discipling them. But I
worrying
know
about them.
Oh, I know.
That's still a thing.
I know. But then I'm like, when I feel like I've been thinking about this recently. When I think about how I grew up in my teenage years, and again, my parents being intentional, you know, to listen to me. We talked about things, talked about God. And then having friends' parents, just like, you know, Sunday morning hug you, or just like I went on mission trips and they supported me. Like, when I think about my kids, it's like, I want to be a loving person, adult in the friends of my kids. I'm not perfect at that right now. Again, I'm just like so focused on my own kids. But when I think about it, like, as a stay-at-home mom, like, a ministry could be just loving my friends' kids.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I see that effect that it had on you from other parents loving on you, and just to be able, you're like trained to give that back.
Carefully.
So yes, absolutely. You mentioned missions trips there. So is there a moment in a missions trip where you maybe were shocked and awed, and then the Lord met you?
Yeah, that's a good question. So many growing moments. So there's a couple places that I've been. One of the places was Cameroon.
Oh,
and
okay. Interesting.
Yeah, we were kind of in this like mountainous area, and I remember like overlooking.
And were you on your own, or like
No,
with a group?
I was with a group.
Okay.
Not from my church, but it was like from a larger organization.
Okay.
And we were like teenagers, and you know, there's leaders obviously,
Right.
but
How far is the flight to Cameroon?
Oh my. I probably took 10 flights in that summer just because it was layover after layover. So we did go to England, down to Kenya.
Just think that young bodies can handle these layovers, right?
Oh yeah, it was an adventure. Honestly, that was very, like, God used that as very spiritually formative time. Just because I saw the world in a sense, like, and I was able to take that back when I went into high school and just be like, the God who worked in Cameroon is still the God that works in my high school. Right. So I just remember being in this mountainous area, and the sun was just like shining just on the side of the hill. So all these like trees are lit up, like they light up like gold almost, just because the light is shining on it. And I just remember in that moment thinking, like, if I ever doubt that God isn't real, I need to remember this moment. And so that is like,
praise God.
That moment is one that I do remember, like, for the rest of my life. I've remembered that because it's like, it was just an affirming moment of if I ever doubt that God is not real, like I need to remember, like I saw this beauty and I knew that God is real. Not that I was super doubting before, because after God saved me, it's like, again, he was like catapulting my faith and really growing me. But it was just an affirming moment in my soul.
It's like a bit of special revelation in creation for you, where you kind of just peek back the blind and like, I see you. Yeah, beautiful. I think about these young moms homeschooling, which is quite a task, from what you've learned in your journey, just growing up being mostly homeschooled and then walking through homeschooling your own kids. Maybe there's a mom who's kind of on the fence about it. She has a lot of fears about both directions, because even before we started, we talked a bit about this responsibility that we think that these mistakes that we make on our kids are going to be lasting forever, right? What would you say to encourage her, or just even how the Lord will sustain her?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm still in my journey of learning how to homeschool myself, like my kids, even though I was homeschooled for from grade 5 to grade 8. Then when I went back into public high school. But listening to God, because even with my mom, and again, she would have her own testimony. But even with my mom not knowing a strong, a large believing community at the time where she was going into homeschooling, the Lord led her into homeschooling. It was like he was bringing her to do that, because then we were going to meet this community. Like God, looking back, it's like all these providential moments. And so just listening to God, and then also being reminded we are so ordinary. Like I am an ordinary mom, and it's important for me to remember that, because it's a humbling thing, but extraordinary God, right? So like a God that's I'm going to see, like there is the blessing that I'm able to see my kids on a day-to-day basis, and just seeing God's work in them, like that alone is a huge blessing to my soul. And so I guess encouragement for moms, if they're kind of thinking about homeschooling, is like there's a lot of difficulty but so much blessing in it, and that the Lord will lead you, like in or out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because looking for God is sometimes hard. We're in the middle of the chaos. When everything is going, you're like, just one more thing piles on your calendar and you're not sure if you can take it. But looking for God, even in those moments, and staying there, it's a beautiful thing, for sure. Well, thanks so much for sharing with us, Amanda. I've really enjoyed hearing about your journey and this generational impact that you've had kind of on you, and then for the next, and it goes beyond your own kids. I see this desire in your heart to want to speak into the lives of your friends' kids too, and create that beautiful community of a little bit of heaven here on earth. So thank you for sharing all of that.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to Testify. Share it with someone today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a powerful testimony. Until next time, may the Lord make his face shine upon you today.